Hello and welcome. Today, I'll be introducing the Construction Industry Payment and Adjudication Act, CIPAA. Prior to the enactment of the Construction Industry Payment and Adjudication Act, CIPAA, payment disputes in Malaysia's construction industry were typically resolved through arbitration or litigation. These methods, while legally sound, were often expensive and time-consuming, leading to significant cash flow issues for contractors and subcontractors. CIPAA was introduced to address these challenges by establishing a statutory adjudication process that is both expedited and interim in nature. The core philosophy behind CIPAA is that pay now, argue later principle, which ensures that payment disputes do not hinder ongoing construction activities. The key aims of CIPAA include providing timely payment for completed work under construction contracts, preventing conditional payment terms such as back-to-back clauses from delaying payments, and enabling prompt dispute resolution while preserving the parties' rights to pursue litigation or arbitration at a later stage. This legislative framework has significantly improved financial stability and trust within the construction sector. CIPAA came into force on the 15th of April, 2014 following royal assent and the implementation of supporting regulations. It applies to all written construction contracts that are executed wholly or partly in Malaysia. The scope of work covered under CIPAA includes building construction, renovation, maintenance, and specialist services such as electrical, mechanical, telecommunications, and oil and gas. However, there are specific exemptions to its applicability. Contracts entered into before the 15th of April, 2014 are excluded from CIPAA's provisions. Additionally, construction work undertaken by a natural person for a building not exceeding 4 stories intended for personal occupation is also exempt. These exclusions ensure that CIPAA is applied prospectively and does not retroactively alter the terms of pre-existing agreements. The Act's broad coverage ensures that most commercial construction activities in Malaysia fall within its jurisdiction, thereby promoting timely payments and reducing disputes. CIPAA enforces mandatory adjudication for payment disputes arising from construction contracts. This means that parties to a contract cannot opt out of the adjudication process, even if their agreement includes clauses for arbitration or other dispute resolution mechanisms. The Act overrides such clauses to ensure that adjudication remains a viable and enforceable option. One of the most significant provisions under CIPAA is Section 35, which renders conditional payment clauses void. These include terms like pay when paid or pay if paid, which often delay payments to subcontractors and other downstream participants. By nullifying these clauses, CIPAA ensures that payment obligations are not contingent upon the receipt of funds from other parties. This provision is crucial in maintaining cash flow and operational continuity in the construction industry. Overall, these core principles reinforce CIPAA's objective of promoting fairness and efficiency in payment practices. The CIPAA adjudication procedure is designed to provide a structured and expedited resolution process for payment disputes in Malaysia's construction industry. This flowchart visually outlines the key steps and respective timelines involved in the statutory adjudication process under CIPAA. The process begins with the unpaid party serving a payment claim, which does not have a fixed time frame. The respondent must then issue a payment response within 10 working days. If the response is absent or insufficient, a dispute is assumed, prompting the issuance of a notice of adjudication. Following the notice, an adjudicator must be appointed within 10 working days. If the parties cannot agree on an adjudicator, the director of AIAC will appoint one within 5 working days. Once appointed, the claimant must submit the adjudication claim within 10 working days. The respondent then has 10 working days to submit an adjudication response. Optionally, the claimant may submit an adjudication reply within 5 working days. The adjudicator is required to issue a decision within 45 working days from the latest submission. Overall, the entire adjudication process typically spans between 95 to 106 working days from the initial payment claim to the final adjudication decision. This timeline ensures a swift and enforceable resolution mechanism compared to traditional litigation or arbitration, which can take significantly longer. The flowchart embedded in the presentation slide provides a clear and readable visual representation of these steps, aiding stakeholders in understanding the procedural flow and expected durations. This visual aid is particularly useful for contractors, subcontractors, and legal professionals involved in construction disputes, as it simplifies the complex statutory process into an accessible format. Under CIPAA, an adjudicator is an impartial individual, typically with expertise in construction or related technical fields. The adjudicator is appointed either by mutual agreement between the parties or by the director of AIC if no agreement is reached. Once appointed, the adjudicator reviews submissions and issues a binding decision within the stipulated timeframe. This decision is enforceable immediately unless set aside by the High Court. Enforcement mechanisms include registering the decision with the High Court as a judgment, which allows for garnishee proceedings or execution. Section 30 of CIPAA provides an additional enforcement tool. If the adjudicated party fails to pay, the awarded party can request direct payment from the project principal or employer. The principal must notify the defaulting party and make payment within 10 working days unless proof of payment is provided. Furthermore, the claimant may suspend or slow down work due to non-payment and may initiate winding-up proceedings without prior court enforcement. These provisions ensure robust enforcement of adjudicated decisions. The legal status of CIPAA has been clarified through judicial interpretation, particularly by the Federal Court. It has been established that CIPAA applies prospectively, meaning it does not affect contracts entered into before its effective date of 15 April, 2014. Consequently, conditional payment clauses in pre-CIPAA contracts remain enforceable. This interpretation ensures legal certainty and respects the sanctity of contracts executed prior to the legislation. It also delineates the boundaries of CIPAA's applicability, preventing retroactive interference with existing contractual arrangements. Understanding this legal status is essential for stakeholders to assess whether their contracts fall under CIPAA's jurisdiction and to determine the enforceability of specific payment terms. This clarity helps in drafting future contracts that comply with CIPAA while recognizing the limitations imposed on older agreements. CIPAA offers several key features that make it a transformative piece of legislation for Malaysia's construction industry. It applies to written construction contracts executed wholly or partly in Malaysia, with specific exclusions for small personal buildings and pre-2014 contracts. The Act enables fast, interim dispute resolution, typically concluding within 95 to 106 working days, compared to the 9 to 24 months required for litigation or arbitration. CIPAA mandates adjudication and voids conditional payment clauses, ensuring that payment obligations are not deferred due to upstream delays. Adjudicated decisions are enforceable immediately and offer rights to direct payment from principals, suspension of work, and initiation of winding-up proceedings. Section 30 empowers subcontractors to bypass main contractors and claim directly from employers. While decisions can be challenged in court, they are treated as binding unless overturned. These features collectively enhance payment reliability, reduce disputes, and foster a more accountable construction environment. CIPAA has significantly transformed the way payment disputes are managed in Malaysia's construction industry. By introducing a statutory adjudication process, it ensures cash flow stability for downstream participants such as subcontractors and consultants. The Act provides a swift and enforceable mechanism for resolving disputes, drastically reducing delays in payment recovery. This has led to increased trust and accountability within the industry, as parties are more confident in the reliability of payment processes. CIPAA's provisions empower stakeholders to take proactive steps in enforcing their rights without resorting to prolonged litigation. The ability to suspend work, seek direct payment, and initiate winding-up proceedings adds layers of protection for claimants. Overall, CIPAA promotes a healthier financial ecosystem in construction, encouraging timely payments, reducing conflicts, and supporting the sustainable growth of the industry.
If you like our content, kindly like, share and subscribe.